Welcome Scorpio to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 24th of June for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. On the screen now I'm showing your event chart right at the start of the week, and it does provide some exciting clues, not least involving your traditional ruler of Mars. Mars is going to be forging a fantastic alliance with Venus right through this week, which will peak on Saturday. So let's think about where Mars is located. It's in your sector of relating, but it's also in the part of your chart to do with where you may need to be competitive. And because you've got the cluster of energy in the sign of Cancer, your sister water sign, pushing you to be more adventurous, perhaps it is going to be around a sporting activity or an interest that you can join up with someone else and spur each other on. But of course, on that full moon last week, there was a sense that you needed to talk about something, and Pluto, your modern ruler, was feeding into that event in not a particularly helpful way. And there's still some of that energy at the start of this week. So if you're feeling a bit tender about a more sensitive strand, the best thing you can do is not be defensive, because Mars in the 7th can be a bit prickly. If someone does want to talk about something that you're a little less keen or inclined to do, just try to go with it, because those energies in Cancer are excellent for actually hearing different philosophies and viewpoints. And because Mercury, for example, forges a very solid link with Saturn, then an exciting link to Uranus, changing things up in all sorts of parts of your situation and approaching things with a spirit of change and spontaneity is actually going to be really great for you. It's just right at the start of this week, the moon moves from Capricorn and lands right on the top of your modern ruler, Pluto, and that could bring up some sense of a little bit of vulnerability, or if you are feeling a little bit withdrawn, you may not want to engage with all these exciting energies. But I feel as the week goes on, you will be getting into it. Also, Saturn does go into a retrograde as the week draws to a close. That's going to last for 20 weeks, but don't see this as being something that's all bad. Saturn is about structures. The 5th house, where he's slowing down, is all about where you can express your talents. And really, for the last 15 months, you may have felt it's been more difficult to be heard around what you've got to offer. So it just means you need to dig down a little deeper. There may be some things or some situations that you've been drawn to that aren't quite right for you, and you do need to let go of them. So see Saturn as being something you can work with rather than being something that's hostile to you. But as the week ends, also Black Moon Lilith does move into a very private part of your situation. If you are someone who would like to meet someone, I think one of the things that you're going to be yearning for in a way is a person who can tune into you in a deeply psychological but even unspoken way. But if you are feeling more outgoing, if you're in a better space, this week can actually be very interactive. And if you're traveling anywhere or going to any kind of event like watching a band or a play or meeting up with friends, I think you're going to have a much livelier time than you might think was possible, as the moon collides with Pluto early on Monday, which could see you feeling quite tender, a little bit exposed, but stick with it. There's much more to gain from this week than to be feared. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now.